Well, hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parco with Brian Kelly. Oh, Brian Kelly. Who the fuck is that? Excuse my language. Brian Galke. I tell you, it's one of those
Or
days, man.
Galke. It's one of those. Yeah.
What did I say, Galke?
Yep. He pulled
That
a
was
Steve
because
on it.
last week you couldn't tell me my name. Remember?
So you've been holding on to a grudge for a week.
That's right. I've been holding it because you were gone on Thursday. You were nowhere to be found.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard being
You've been
popular.
pretty busy. You've been a busy guy doing a bunch of stuff.
Tell you this week, I mean, you're just as busy. It's just all yours is there where you are, right? Except for Rotary. But yeah, this week is just going to be crazy. It's, podcast yesterday, 2 things today. Got to drive to another state, do a training in the morning, drive back the following day, and then I got something on Friday also. So it's going to be busy. Yeah. Better busy than slow.
Busy. Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem with me is I'm busy, but it's not like I'm doing a lot of volume on the loan side. I'm doing a bunch of other stuff too, so.
Right.
But it's all about, putting stuff together that you have multiple streams of income no matter what happens. And It's no other time in history can you do that than now, where before it was very different. It was not the same. This whole internet thing that started and everything else has just changed everything. So
absolutely,
which is good, but you need to have them because one slows down, you still have the other streams to take care of you.
100%. That's what I used to tell people all the time is you can't rely on one source for anything. It doesn't matter if your side business is your full-time business. You need to have, what they say, have your hands in a lot of pies because you never know what's going to happen this day and age. I know people who were making a ton of money in a certain type of like MLM, and all of a sudden that MLM gets shut down. I know people who were in corporations for, years and they got let go or fired. It just, things change.
Right.
Rules change, things change. It's kind of
government change.
Yeah. We talk about if you're on a platform, like let's take, for example, do you know what happened in Clubhouse like 2 weeks ago?
No. So I haven't been on Clubhouse for 2 years.
So I jump on every once in a while because our friend Sloan, she is on there and she hosts a room on Wednesday mornings. And usually right after I drop off the kids when their room starts, when I'm driving home, I pop on.
Kid, grab another kid.
Sorry. No,
kiddo. Get your extra ones.
No, dropping the kid, not kids.
Are you the designated driver for a bunch of kids now?
No, just one. I'm only allowed and trusted with one individual. So, and even that's dicey.
Yeah.
But
it's supervised visits.
Yes. A lot of people are really upset because Clubhouse made a change where if you have been building your followers over the last 3 years that it's been around. So if anybody's not familiar, Clubhouse was an audio platform that really came to prominence in 2020. It popped live in like January of 2020. Obviously, the pandemic happened. Right. Well, what could you do is it allowed you to talk to other people. So while you're stuck in your house or in your apartment, wherever you're living, if you wanted to interact with other people, it was kind of like half webinar, half being at a live event because people who opened up the room could create what was called the stage and they can invite you up and you could talk. And so it was kind of therapeutic for some people. It brought a lot of people to becoming quasi internet famous because they would get on and they would host these rooms for 24 hours, 72 hours, you name it, but they grew a following. And when it first started out, you couldn't link anything to it. Then eventually they said, okay, well, we're not going to create profiles on here, but we'll let you link to your Instagram profile. Well, people amassed over the 3 years, thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers, depending on how big their rooms were. And 2 weeks ago, Clubhouse wiped them all out and said, oh, here's some of your friends. And so several people let out some just posts about why they're leaving and that's it. And it wasn't just the platform change, the people using the platform changed too. When it started, it was kind of a communal group. People got in. And then like in any platform, some people start to dominate. But what a lot of people found was a lot of people who were saying that they were doing and they were successful or I'm doing this and I'm doing that turned out to be full of shit.
Yeah, so, I could tell you that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Clubhouse, that change that they made on top of kind of not monitoring who was running the room. So it became a very cliquish thing. So people stopped joining rooms because they weren't allowed to talk and people don't want to get in, just listen to somebody blab on for a while. If they would, they'd go watch an infomercial or go to their website.
Or so they were starting to lose,
or their podcast. Exactly. So with that change that they made, what did people realize is you're not in control of your audience when you're using a platform. And so it's kind of what we talked about. I think it was 2 weeks ago Are you going to the different platforms and are you downloading your audiences? How do you own the data and how do you get them off of a platform so you're in control? So when you and I both, you listen to Alex's new book on Audible, I'm reading it right now. I just finished the 4 core ways to get leads. And it's interesting because that's what they kind of talk about is, do you own your leads? How do you get new leads? You name it. But just that one change wiped out for some people their entire audience because they were only on one platform and they didn't have a way to download their followers. So by them,
I thought they were connected through Instagram.
If they followed them on Instagram, but some people were just, oh, well, I'll follow them in the room. So unless they were proactive about going to Instagram and they know, okay, I met this person, even though I'm friends with them on Instagram or they follow me on Instagram, did they come from Clubhouse or not? So I've just seen several posts about that's it, I'm done. And even a guy who has been on it for, gosh, when I first joined it, this guy held large rooms. He said he's done. That's it.
I didn't even know people were still on there.
Oh yeah, I would jump
because I used it because
yeah.
I know you're telling a whole story. I'm cutting in, but I used it to help me set up by podcasting. How to set certain equipment, because there's a guy Tanner and a few other people who ran 3 rooms about podcasting, and they were on there on a regular basis. And I had one of them, and what was nice about it, you had a room size, and then he's like, if you got any questions, and so I'd ask, hey, I have this, how do I set this up? They walked me through it on the freaking Clubhouse, and it was perfect. And I actually met him in real life a while back at one of the things, and I was like, man, thank you so much, you really helped me out so much. He doesn't remember because he helped everybody. So.
But that was the really nice thing about Clubhouse is it started out as a communal type thing.
Right.
People were locked in their houses. They craved wanting to be around other people, empower other people, learn from other people. There were times I'd be on it for 6 to 8 hours a day because I would just have it on my iPad while I was working. And then at night, you couldn't go anywhere. So like when I'm rowing in the backyard, I'd listen to stuff, or if I was walking around the house, and I'm a night owl. So sometimes I'd be on it till midnight or 1. And I learned so much. Like you said, sometimes you go and you just listen and learn. Sometimes you get up, you share, so to teach other people. It was a fantastic platform before it became political. That was a big thing. Once people started talking about politics and everything, it started to go downhill. But then people started playing the snob game of, well, I'm not going to invite other people up to my thing, but you should still invite people to my room. Right. It's like,
well, that's again, it's like everything, right? There's going to be that 1% that does certain things. Watch out, they're backing up. You're going to hit you.
I know. I think it's a trash.
Whatever. Yeah. So but that's in everything we do. You're going to have that percentage. That's, you can look at every type of thing, religion, everything, politics. You have good people, you have bad people, you have people who take advantage of other people, you have all that stuff. It's no different than in the Clubhouse and the way it was doing it. But for me, I used it a lot in the beginning, but I couldn't, when I was so busy in 2020, and not in the first 3 months, but as it went further, I was swapped, for August on of 2020 through 21 into June of 22. And then now, we could like sit all day and we'd closing, I'm still closing a couple million a month, but it's still not what I'm used to. Right. You set up for one thing, and then when something happens quickly, and it wasn't because something we can like over time deal with.
Right.
And that just gets to be careful, right? Your audience. Yeah. I guess they were having a lot of work today there, huh?
I was getting ready to mute it. They're picking up, I live near some apartments. I think they're picking up their dumpster, but apparently they've got a new driver who has to back up a lot. So
watch out. We're backing up.
That's right. With what
so we didn't get on here about talking about that. We're just talking about take your audience from all the platforms you are on and build your own audience. And that's like, so I was talking to somebody else, Helping the Brave has been getting really big with the podcast, and I want to, and so I've been wanting to put together a whole website on, everything about everybody we talked to over the last 2.5 years when it comes to different companies that are good, where you can reach out to them and know exactly how to reach out to them, and then have a whole rating system. Plus there's this new event that's coming up where they want to do fire walking for vets, and I want to put a whole thing together for that, and I want to have it under the umbrella of Helping the Brave. So, you look shocked that you don't remember me telling you that story.
No.
Okay.
I was thinking about the fire walking for it. I was thinking of somebody else I need to hook you up with.
anyway, so I did I interviewed somebody on Inner Edison, and he used to work. I think we talked about where he did. So he was addicted to he was alcoholic, and after years finally decided to get help. And one of his people in A&A, AAA, whatever it is, AA, reached out to him and said, "Hey, I got us tickets for Anthony Robbins. This is a while back in the 90s." And he's like, "I don't have any money. Don't worry about it. It's covered. I got it for you." He went there, and then they were doing firewalking, and he didn't want to do it. And so one of the guys that works for Anthony, he's like, "Hey, just get in line and watch it. Don't you want to watch him do it?" And then next thing you know, he's like at the front of the line. It's like, fuck. And so he walks it, and it changed his life. He started volunteering for him, and then they found out his background in the military and what he did, and eventually he started running it for Tony Robbins.
Oh, that's
for
cool.
years and years and years, so much that he created a whole company out of it. And then Google reached out to him and he's like, "No, I can do whatever." And so now he does firewalking and glass walking, and now he wants to do it for vets, to help vets, because he is a vet, and he just wants his costs covered so that he can get it done, because he's got to bring in all these guys for all these different things to make sure it's done right. So
yeah. Have you ever done it?
No.
So I did it. I did it the very first time.
Oh, so it doesn't work.
No, it actually does. The very first.
Is that how you got divorced?
Yeah. Well, I actually did take her for her birthday, so maybe. The first time I did Tony Robbins was a local event. They were testing, like, doing pods instead of having Tony go. And so then we broke arrows and broke bricks and stuff like that. That's good to make you realize not everything's what you think it is. But when you see people walk across the fire, it changes them. It really does. And there was a guy that used to live kind of near the airport out here. He actually ran the fire certification company that would certify everyone that they came through. And he would always host Tony Robbins stuff at his house. A really cool guy. But when you see somebody do it, or if you ever do it, there is a sense of empowerment that comes along with it for overcoming something you didn't think you could do. And what was really interesting is the people who didn't think they could do it were the ones who ended up with their feet burned, and the people who felt like they could, not a scratch. Now, there's always somebody who in the middle, right? There's three basic types of way that we respond to something: fight, flight, or freeze. Well, don't stop in the middle of walking on hot coals. It's just not the smartest idea. But that's the whole thing. The media was out here. So this would have been 2017, 2018. And instead of talking about the thousands of people who made it across, it was the news cover that night. Oh, multiple people burned at Tony Robbins. So it's just your typical media to get attention thing. But there's
a lot of it has to do, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just said if you ever get a chance to go, you should.
Yeah. Well, I do it when we put this together. We just got to get couple sponsors. It's not a major issue, but I want to do it across the change, veterans with PTSD and other things, and get them over certain things. Right. The guy who says, he's like, whether you like her or not, go to Oprah Winfrey, type in firewalking, and she went across it. She didn't want to go across it. He said, and afterwards, she changed everything she did with her companies going forward.
Yes.
And that's how she became successful, or more, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great idea, and I want to do it. So it's about putting it together. But now the whole brand of helping the brave needs to get going so that I can do it too. So
this is my ADD kicking in. So I'm texting a guy I'm going to introduce you to.
See how you are. I just focused on everything else instead of what we're talking about. So, we've been talking about a bunch of stuff over the last few weeks. We were supposed to have an SEO guy on a couple of weeks ago. We're supposed to have him Thursday. And it's because I've been getting hit with so many people going, "Oh, you need to check your SEO. I checked it for you. We can make a whole thing better for you." And then it was funny because I had my radio shows through iHeartMedia, and I reached out to my new rep who has been handling the digital side of the company for, I don't know, 18 years now. And he's like, "Have you looked at the stuff that's there?" And I'm like, "No, but why don't we'll set up an appointment and do it." And I went through it, and he's like, "Oh, let me check your SEO." Oh, okay, yeah, no shit. It's like, and then he checked like something else about, the names of the business ad, and it's like, wow, you're at that. Most people are at, yeah, okay, we went through this stuff. That's not, so when you're here getting all these DMs for these guys, it doesn't mean they actually looked at your stuff. They're just trying to get you to connect with them, and then they're going to look at your stuff.
Yes, there was, you and I talked about it. The current method is go like a post, send you a DM, or say, "Hey, reach out to me." I'm like, why? And it's funny, some of these media teams sent me a cut up of a talk I did, and I ran it again through Opus Pro just to see.
By the way, it's try Opus Pro.
Yeah, try Opus Pro. There you go. And the subtitles matched, and I'm like, I know what they're using. But yeah, so it's kind of, and I think where you're going with this today is a lot of people are getting into things and they're just told, okay, go post content. But there is a lot behind the scenes that if you go and you pay attention, you take some time to study it, you can make little tweaks that make major impact. And SEO, search engine optimization, is a big one, because when people are searching for things, it involves a lot of keywords. You and I have talked before, you have to treat each platform differently, even down to the SEO level. But a big one, like you said, YouTube was a big one for you, right? With SEO.
You do it, make sure keywords and other stuff's there. But here's what I'm doing differently. Why'd you text me brushing?
That's the guy's last name.
Oh, I was going to say,
you need to brush your teeth. I can't tell from here.
Here, all right, I did. All right, I think I got the few hairs. No, it's usually I don't shave till today, but today is what, Tuesday? No, Thursday. Yeah. I shave Wednesday night before Rotary. Usually, that's the only time I shave, because I want to be clean shaven. I want to show that I care. I'm just kidding. Actually, I was thinking what Alex said. Homozy, like, grow a big beard and wear a hat, because that way half of your face is covered and they can only see your eyes. So most women will like you.
I have not gotten that part, but he kept that handlebar mustache his first few years that he was
right. Really, that's why he has a big old beard now, I think.
Exactly, because he wants to stand out and be recognized. Right. So it is funny how, well, look at Steve, right? Like his
goatee
logo is his goatee. There's a guy named Kelly Cardenas who his goatee is he's got dreads, and that's his goatee. His logo is his dreads without his face. So it is funny how you can take that aspect of something and make that part of your brand identity.
All right. So I'm going to go back. So one of the things we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I was hit up by a company that says, I can help you get your podcast. Because what happened is I've been doing everything under Ed Parco, and then I separated out Inner Edison and Real Estate Jerky, even though Real Estate Jerky is really under me, but I'm separated this stuff out. Well, those new entities had no subscribers, right? And so I've been getting reached out. I can help you get more subscribers. I can help you get this. And the company said, this is what we do. They sent me a video. They said, okay, this is what we do. We take what you have and we cut it up into a 3-minute and then a 5 to 10 minute segment. And then we do 3 shorts from it. And then we optimize your content, optimize this. So basically what they're saying is whatever the video is, whatever's in there is what the words attached, keywords are to it. Right. And as you found out, you can't send a short into Cast Magic and have it kick out that information because it's too short. You have to it has to be so long in order for it to create that information. So what I'm doing is I do the shorts, and whichever shorts go crazy is what I cut up for the 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Because and I've done, and some people will change this, change that. Well, I just know that on TikTok, it's totally different than what's on YouTube, meaning the people looking at it. Right. For me and the people that are my followers, for some reason on TikTok, they really like house hacking, anything to do with really about the government with gas and making us go electric. And, there's just certain things. It's almost like they're more politicized on TikTok and can get away with it than they are on YouTube. That's just my people, right? That's not everybody else. I think I only have on TikTok almost 15,000 followers. I don't have a ton because I've only been back at doing this from almost a year off, 45 days. In the 45 days, in the first actually 30 days, I went up almost 6,000 followers. So
wow.
That's not, for me, that's not bad. On my YouTube. It has to do with, you got to do it yourself.
Right.
I don't care. You have, because what these people want. Once you get it down, I had other people handling, they did great work. They did amazing little things, but I know from being in radio, what people react to. Not necessarily can other people understand that. They can find nice things to talk about, but is that little clip going to go viral? No. Us using Opus and, to do these things and making sure you put the keywords, like when I do my video in the morning, This morning it was just me because my co-host is on his travel to a new thing.
Right.
I put in there 4 different things. It's open, so going to cut up some little shorts. I'll see what goes good, and then make up longer content. I've been trying to figure out how to, and what's nice about Cast Magic, it tells you when you set it in the video.
Right.
So guess what? It's so much faster to go back there and find that stuff than watch the whole damn video.
Somebody did tell me about another one. Let me see. I was going to tell you about it today. YouTubetranscript.com will let you go. Just type in a URL. Now, it doesn't give you the times, but it does do a transcription of that.
Yeah, but I use Cast Magic. It does the transcription for me.
Exactly.
But it does everything. Huh?
For people who are broke, I was giving them.
It's not that expensive. I think it's $39 for the one version that most people will work. I do 1,000 minutes a month minimum cut up. Is a lot for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Well, because you have so many different radio shows. Most people maybe have a podcast or a
right. And I have 3 podcasts. I do the radio show for the weekend, and then we do a daily that the same co-hosts do daily. That's been taken off. Actually, on the podcast, we're in the 174th for a daily show in the last 30 days, which is big because we never. Up for a year, we did lives and never posted it anywhere. We just left it on Facebook, YouTube, and that's the other thing. I'm not doing the live on YouTube anymore. I'm just cutting the stuff up and putting it on YouTube.
Right.
And some people, and if you have millions of followers, you can do a live. You'll have enough people watching it live that it'll be okay. But people like me that only have almost 13,000 followers on YouTube, it's not going to work.
Do you really? That's awesome.
You didn't know?
Trying to crack 1,000.
Yeah, I'm at 12,000, almost 700. But again, I didn't touch it for a year, and now I'm starting to go back up. So
awesome.
Yeah, but for me, I'm like looking at where I want to go with those things. In order to make money on YouTube that they pay, you can't do it with 12,000 subscribers or 15,000 subscribers. You need millions of subscribers to make money.
Oh yeah, well, I think I mentioned before when I was in Utah. About a year and a half ago, met the king of random. The people that run that, they have 12 million followers. You can imagine what they make a month just off YouTube videos of little things like, oh, let's try and start a fire with a bottle of Dasani water and refracting the sun.
Right. No, and that's like I met a plumber who grew he's way older than me, and he just started doing trade stuff on YouTube, showing how to do certain things. He makes $1 million a month. He gave up his whole plumbing company, sold it and everything else, and that's all he does. He has a whole team that helps him cut it up. It just takes time to get there. This is stuff that's over time, and you got to remember, it's 10 years ago it was easier. There was less of us on there.
Exactly. Well, so a question for you, because people have varying opinions, and I know I'm kind of changing mediums. What are your thoughts on, for somebody who wants to podcast on their own, who's never done it? Some people have the theory of, oh, there's too many out there, I shouldn't start one. Other people are like, no, you should definitely start one now. Where do you sit on that?
You need to know, as long as you know who your people are.
Yeah.
If you did I send you did you ever read that PDF I sent you about how to create your own, fuck you, come on, kick your ass.
You send me a lot. So I
know. Not actual PDFs. I sent you the duet I got. So understanding your YouTube audience. I sent you a PDF on it.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And it breaks. So take that. I don't care if you take my thing that I created, redid, whatever you want to call it, because we all steal from other people. I repackaged it and redid it differently, but you can take that, instead of understanding your YouTube audience, understanding your podcast audience.
Right.
But you need to know who you're talking to. You need to find that out before you do anything else. The Alec Heck.
Yes.
Alurek Heck, or whatever his name. Yeah. He actually has a whole, for $97 a month, you can actually see everything he's ever come up with, you can get access to. And there's some good stuff on there. Even he was saying you need to find out who that person is, and your first 100 videos are, the 100 video part I just got from re-listening to Derek, the guy that created the YouTube. Bear with me here. I'll pull it up while we're talking. There's a lot of information out there to help you, but you just need to know who your audience is before you get going, period.
Right.
You need to know who that is. Who's your audience? Who are you trying to speak to? If you say the general public, move on.
Well, and Alex goes through that in his book, right? Where he talks about, what are you going to list? What's their title? What's their name? What do they call themselves? Where do they live? It's a big one for brick and mortar stores to say, I'm looking for this person with this title in this town. And the more specific you can get, the faster you can hit that target audience, especially if you're going to do paid ads.
You need to go all the way down. You need to find out. So the Daryl Eves, the YouTube formula. Yeah, that's a good one to listen to, the YouTube formula. We got it when I went to Funnel Hackers a couple years ago. But I here's the thing. I re-listened to that. I listened to Alex Hermosi. I also then Ulrich Heck, who's real big on the pay ads for YouTube, how to do the ads for YouTube. But he's also come up with a bunch of other stuff. He started when he was like 16 on YouTube and then when he's 22, he's telling everybody how to do it. And you're like, grow the fuck up.
He's one of the largest affiliates for Go High Level. So he tells a story of he was working at a shoe store making $10 an hour, living with his parents, to now I forget like the amount he makes every month just off of affiliates was just very impressive.
Because they're going to tell you how to go and set all this up. Well, back to that. Last week we had L Prospector, whatever, that you can add to go through and talk to all your people on your Facebook, all the Messenger and all that stuff. And I talked to him afterwards and he's like, there's a guy from Best Buy that's doing this and now he's winning all the awards for $1 million stuff and all this stuff. And basically, again, it's everything that's out there is not going to work for you, but that L Messenger Pro, that's what I was trying, connects to Go High Level, which connects through chat, also there's also Chat HQ, which has a great thing for your website, which I'm going to be putting on mine, that when you scroll down a certain way, that this pops up. When it scrolls down to the bottom, this other thing pops up. Plus you can get, many different things. It's almost like a window for the stuff that we have on Instagram, the tree thing. God, today is one of my days.
The tree thing.
No, hold on. The I want to say lending tree, but because I'm used to the link tree.
Oh, Linktree. Okay, I don't use that one. I use I use two different ones, but yeah.
Well, that's the one that was set up to, but there's other ones. There's freer ones, but it's like that, but for your website. So when you get to the bottom, you can go, okay, join my list, join this, join that, do this, do that. You have many different things you can have them do instead of just that one window says, you want to connect with me? Sign up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's so many things out there. And what I like about, you brought up Go High Level. Dude, they're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Freaking, if you have questions, they do a Zoom. Have you ever been on there? No, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they do is like you log into the Zoom thing, and they're like, "Okay, you're here for okay," and then, all right, so and so will take you into this room, and you zoom right in, and they're there. And because I needed it for something last week, and I was like, "Geez, I wanted to stay on, but I had other stuff I had to do." I'm like, I'm going to do this at 10 o'clock at night, stay on until morning until everything's perfect, So
I need to get in that. Joel, who's been our guest, our joker in the past, I ended up setting up my Go High Level through their company. So we went over like my branding guide and just putting some stuff together last week, but I haven't really taken action on anything yet. So that won't happen.
They'll help you through because they have a new thing now with when you set up with to get text through your text, you have to go through all this new legal shit,
compliance.
Yeah. And then also you can do it quickly with the 800 number and all this other stuff. You got to create your own landing, different pages and other stuff right away. And this is, everybody's going to go, no shit. I know, but I'm just saying, for most people who don't understand it, again, it went to bottom line was, just like the L Messenger Pro, you really need to understand it in order for having other people to help you.
That's really what we're kind of circling back to the beginning of it was, you get contacted by all these people tell you need all these things. Now, there are definitely some services you can end up paying for, but you learn to do SEO on your own. The information is out there. We're in a different day and age where you should learn the basics of it to know, do I want to farm it out? Am I being taken advantage of? Or is it something I can do fairly quickly myself? And that's what's really different. What's that?
I was going to disagree with what you said.
Why? What's that?
I was going to say, can you do it quickly? No, it's learning what it is so you can have somebody else do it and they do it the way you want it done.
Sure.
That's what I look at. That's just like right now, I could hand off my stuff as a VA to do my cut up, but I'm not ready to yet. Yes, I've had one viral video go on, TikTok. I think it's 720,000, which is a lot for me. and it keeps growing. But then somebody else took it and did a duet, and I think they're up to 600,000 views on hers, which isn't her greatest. Her greatest is 1.2 million. So it's amazing what can, you know, and the most thing you got to figure out is what's going to get that audience talking. And
well, anyway. The guy I think we've talked about, but he hasn't been on, Ryan Majin, who teaches.
Yes, like how to go viral. You should have him on.
We need to. I'll reach out to him. He's going through a lot. His house flooded in that last hurricane that hit Florida. 3 feet of water everywhere.
And that's when I was bringing up the VAs. The first thing I thought of today, I saw a whole thing where the hurricane hit them and a lot of flooding and a lot of electricity down. I'm like, everybody's, what? You're not able to do my stuff today? What?
Yeah, that's the danger of things. Now, a curiosity question for you is, when you're ready to hand it to a VA, will you still do some and then watch them post and see what gets more, or are you going to do a clean handoff of, you know, casino dealer?
No, I don't think so. Going forward, I like knowing what it's doing. I like this part of it. You know? The one thing that with listening to everybody about your business, you need to create your business where you don't have to be there, but handle the marketing side of it still. Because that was, you know, for me, for years, I didn't need to do anything. It was talk to agents, talk to this. I had a ton of volume coming through. Now the problem is you got to talk to 100 people to get 2 loans. So just because where the market is, yes, it's going to get better, but it's not going to get better for years. Right. So that's even people have reached out to me. Hey, you want to come work for us?
So when do you start?
I haven't found one I like. Actually, I was on LinkedIn fixing my whole profile because I hadn't been on there forever. And I was like, oh, my jobs aren't even really correct. And my about me is not correct. And there was a couple things, you know, Spotify has a couple jobs. So I was like, that'd be freaking cool. You know, everything I've been building to this point with radio, podcasting, and everything else. But again, I like my industry. I just hate where it's at. And I hate the fact that the government can mess it up this badly.
That's the challenging part, but that goes back to what you said earlier, have multiple streams of income. Somebody did a post the other day, and I don't remember who it was. Oh, Robbie did a Zoom that he just threw out to everyone who wanted to join. And I was driving back from Austin, and
Which Robbie?
Robbie Cornelius.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry. Robbie Cornelius was on, and he has something like 181 streams of income. You know, I mean, you don't have to go that extreme.
Yeah, but he also has, but he also has a big one, which is putting everybody into his networking stuff. You know, his, hosting.
Yes. His hosting, his web hosting, domains. He just dabbles in a lot, but he is huge into affiliate marketing. So he created, alfreda.org, I think, which is a directory of all the services. He's just, for a guy who he went through the story the other day, who dropped out in the 10th grade because he realized, like, I can make more money not going to school, and who used to be a gangster rapper. That guy's brilliant. He just sits and talks about what he does. And then the cool thing about it is he shows the numbers and how he kind of reverse engineers things. So he has a really cool tool that will go to Udemy and tell you, okay, what course has the most people on there? How long is the course? How many videos is it? It breaks down all the content so he can figure out, okay, if I want to create a course, who should I mimic? I mean, the guy's got tools out the yin yang. And then you wouldn't expect somebody who is a hardcore rapper at one point to be huge into meditation now and hiking in the wilderness, yet here he is. So he's a pretty unique guy.
It's our environment. It's getting yourself out of the environment, right? And they talked about, I listened to, actually I think about it was a podcast I was doing on helping the brave, and the guy was talking about, he wrote a book about, because he was in Vietnam and Korea and stuff, and how he was talking about how more people did heroin in Vietnam than any other time, and they thought for sure the soldiers would be addicted for the rest of their life, but their environment changed. They came home.
Oh, see, I always heard that once you have it, you know, that's it. You're addicted for life. So that's interesting.
The environment changed. And he said the problem here in the United States is if you're a drug addict and you and you get clean, you go back to the same environment, and you'll fail. And that's the same thing with a lot of stuff. You got to change your environment. And I think that's probably why he's doing so well. He's probably moved and changed his environment. You know what I mean? If you're in the,
get a new circle. We talk about that all the time, right? Who's in your circle? Are you happy with who's in your circle? If not, get out of that circle. Or if you need to move to get away from even toxic family and friends, get up and move.
Yeah, get rid of your family.
Yep.
You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family. So get rid of them.
Exactly.
And that's what you got to do. What's best for you as a person. And you can, if they're toxic, which a lot of family is, move on. You don't have to have them in your life.
I'm in a part of Ryan Stewman's group. It's called Apex, and they use the acronym FOC, which is family of choice. And so many people are like, I can't go brag or pick the brains of the people who are in my family or friends or my circle. So that's why they go and they join the group. And that Facebook page is super active of people who are growing their business, asking for help, supporting others, you name it. And it's interesting because they don't have that in real life, but yet they come together online. And that's why we live in a pretty magical time, because no matter what you're looking for, you can find it one way or the other.
Stop winking at me.
Well, it's just that effect.
Is that what that X is on your shirt? Is that a wink or is that I got a bad eye?
I don't know. I saw it and bought it off the internet. Let's say it looked like it would be a normal everyday shirt. It'll be more of a workout shirt because it's a wee bit tight.
Is that just because you haven't been working out as much, or is then you've been eating and traveling, or is that just because it was a smaller size?
When it came from the internet, sizing is not always accurate.
No, that's why I like fresh tees. They're always the right size.
Well, I had to go. That's interesting. I bought XL in them, and it was too big and baggy, so I had to go down to a large with them. I had to go the opposite of what I normally have.
Some of us actually know our sizes, and we don't think we're an extra large.
I have an XL on everything else. I had to actually go the opposite with them. So,
they have it tied up above, so it's looser in the bottom. So
yeah, but it just it wasn't tied on my shoulders. Even it just kind of hung on it. So I had to go.
Sounds to me like you're a medium, not a large. I'm sorry,
I'm a medium. I'm a medium. Is that?
All right, I think we've kind of beat the horse today.
Yes.
So basically, we definitely want to go over optimization and SEO more, but people think it's just this amazing thing. It's really not that big of a deal. It's about words and how to do things right. And I remember back in the day when you were first doing your website, you would make sure that the pictures would be named something so that was one extra thing that you could get on there.
Right.
If you're going to name your pictures, name it this so it matches. And there's so many things today, and there's so many different ways to do websites. Go high level, you got, all the other ones. So whatever works for you, do it. Just do something.
Need to do one Tuesday. Why don't you walk everybody through how you use Opus takes a little bit longer to go through. Try Opus Pro, but you should do the Try Opus Pro and then walk them through how you use Cast Magic and show people exactly how you do it.
No, that's fine. We can do it next week. That's fine. Cool. I'll make sure I have all my affiliate links ready to go so everybody can pick it up. It's because I do it daily now with my podcast, right? Because I wasn't posting that forever. And then that daily cut-ups, I can post on, because they say as a company, you should be posting on your stuff twice a day. Yes. And as a person, you should be posting on there 3 times a day. But I don't, it's the issue is the one thing I'm still having trouble with. I need somebody to help me is with Facebook, but everybody has that problem with Facebook because it tells you through their planner. And when you go in there, what is the best time for your actual particular audience to post that, and they don't like it to be posted outside in certain things of what I'm hearing. But the planner is supposed to help me. For some reason I'm having issues, and I think it's because I got thrown in jail a while back because I didn't hit housing on one of the things.
I think they've got some interesting issues. I was logging into Instagram over the weekend. It kept saying it appears that you're using an automation tool and that violates our terms of whatever terms of agreement or whatever. And I'm like, I don't use anything. It's me posting. But they popped that up a few times this weekend. So I think they're just, I don't know if they're spot checking people or they're having problems or what. But it was.
And you're saying that Ryan said don't copy and paste.
If you copy and paste, spend some time in there before. So don't just paste and hit send. Spend some time in the box. So he calls it spend time in the box. Spend some time while you're there, and then hit send.
So what I do is I do all 4, right? Mm-hmm. And I go in there and put it in there, put it in Facebook, then go and finish YouTube, come back to TikTok, finish that one, and then I go in the other 2, and it's been working for me. So
I haven't done that. I just usually type it up in Apple Notes, then I go upload the video or the picture, then I paste it in, I make a few little changes here and there. But it's like we talked about. Sometimes it's strange because I can put the same title in a YouTube video and get 4 views over 4 hours. And then I can delete that video and go right back and post it again 3 hours later and get 150 views.
Yeah, but you need to find out what time that is.
Yes.
But
I did one this morning just to test it. So this morning's at 150, but the one I posted, let's see, 5 days ago got 43. The one before that got 38. I think it's kind of rewarding consistency also. And that's something that you mentioned earlier. Multiple times a day, multiple platforms. That was a pretty big consistent point in Alex's book is if you have more time than money, you should be posting free content all the time.
Well, that's how all these, he didn't think it was worth it, any of his time at all until he saw the big people were able to go multimillionaires on certain things in a few minutes because of their followers.
Oh, Brad Lee, perfect example. Brad grew. Nobody knows. I mean, people know kind of what his company name is, but everybody knows who Brad Lee is. He is a perfect example of that. Or even Gary Vee. Look at Gary. Started out reviewing wine, right? But people now pay for Gary Vee, not for his liquor experience, but that now obviously his media and marketing company anyway.
Right. Well, it's about building your personal brand versus your company brand all the time. There's two different brands. I was explaining this to a lady who did advertising for a long time. She didn't understand it. She's like, you're not doing enough for your, I don't care about my company. I only care about me. That's it. My brand. Who am I? Yes. And that's all I care. And that's because that's who, I don't care where you work in my industry. It's not about which company you work for. They just care about who you are.
Branding is just it's an online way to say reputation, because before, when you couldn't get out to the internet and everything, it was all based on your reputation. Who knew about you? What's your reputation? Who have you helped? The difference is now we have social media and they just call it branding.
Right. I thought it was all what they say about you when you leave the room.
Well, it's that too.
I just think this whole word branding is going to go away. It's being, well, what I mean by that is we're going to come up with a new term because they overuse this term. True. They use this term so much on everything. Let me help you with the branding, your branding. There's something else going to come along and change that to where I'm different than everybody else. You follow what I'm getting at? Because again, how do you stand out in whatever industry you are? Create your own words.
That's exactly.
And then trademark them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, consistency, coming up, not just repeating what everybody else says, having something unique to talk about, right? Niche down. There's all kinds of ways to stand out just a little bit more than everybody else.
That is correct. All right.
And bikini pics, but I don't recommend those for you.
No, my tits are too big.
All right.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for being here. And Brian, thanks for being here, finally showing up again.
I know. Hey, thanks, Ed.
All right, I'll see you guys on Thursday.